and the shaman of Gorik's tribe. I taught him how to reveal the mystery of the battlefield, how to see the enemies with the eyes of the lone wolf. Heed my words of wisdom, for one day you may need it. So last time we scratched the surface of solo combat with our friend Gorak the half-orc fighter. Well, as promised, today we are diving deep. We're getting into the advanced tactics of action economy warfare. And our lesson? It begins as we rejoin Gorak for what might be his biggest challenge yet. So picture this. The dust is settling on the hot arena sand. Gorak is standing there, all by himself. You could almost hear the roar of the crowd just fade away into nothing. Because right now all that matters is what, and you know who, is standing right in front of him. And what's in front of him is, well, it's a real trial by fire. We're not talking about one opponent, we're talking three. The odds are just completely stacked against him. A lone fighter up against a whole coordinated team. And that right there is the big question at the heart of this whole explainer. I mean, you look at this and on the surface it seems impossible, right? But here's the secret. This isn't a test of pure strength. It's a puzzle. And to solve it, first, we've got to understand all the pieces on the board. Okay, so before a single sword is swung, before any blood is even shed, the real battle has to be fought, and it's a battle of information. To see how Gork can possibly win this, we have to know exactly what he's up against. So on one side, you've got Gorak, our level 3 fighter. Tough guy, for sure. But look what he's facing. A higher level wizard, Vorlog the Vile, and this guy is protected by two draw bodyguards. One's got a blade, the other's got a bow. This is way more than just a numbers problem. This is a tactical nightmare. You know, the crazy thing is the fight hasn't even really started, but the most important battle, it's already happening. And it's not a fight over hit points or who has the better armor. It's a struggle over this hidden resource, something way more valuable than any magic sword. And that resource is called the action economy. Think of it like the real money of a fight. Every round, which is about 6 seconds, every single person gets an action. A chance to swing a sword, cast a spell, move around. Actions are opportunities, and the side with more of them has a huge advantage. And this chart, man, it just lays it all out, plain and simple. This is Gorak's biggest problem. He gets one action. His opponents, they get 3. He is being out-actioned 3-1. For every single thing he does, they get to do 3 things back. So yeah, he can't just brute force his way out of this one. A bigger axe is not going to solve this problem. If he just charges in head on, he's going to lose. To win, he has to be way more efficient with his one action than they are with their 3. He has to steal their turns. So that leads to the first huge decision he's got to make. When you're facing a whole group, who do you hit first? And the answer, it's not always the guy who's closest. It takes a much deeper kind of thinking. Here's the thing you gotta remember. Not all threats are created equal. The absolute key to surviving when you're on your own is to look past the obvious danger and figure out what kind of danger each enemy is, moment to moment. And this is where we get into a really cool concept called circumstantial threat level. Forget about who has the most hit points for a second. The real question is this. Who, right now, has the power to completely change the shape of this fight? Okay, let's break down the draw bodyguards. The swordsman? Yeah, he's a problem, but only if he can get right next to Gorak. He's what we call a pressure threat. The archer, though, he's a control threat. He can hurt Gorak from anywhere, which forces Gorak to think about where he moves, where he can take cover. The archer controls the space. But now, let's throw Vorlag into the mix. The drow's damage, it's predictable. Vorlag, on the other hand, could drop a fireball and just wreck Gorak's day. But even worse, he's got spells like Hold Person. One successful spell, and Gorak is paralyzed. His one and only action is gone. The fight is just over. See, that's the real kicker. It's not about damage. The real threat is the person who can steal your turn. The wizard's ability to control the battlefield, to just take Gorak out of the equation entirely, makes him the #1 absolute highest circumstantial threat. He has to be the priority. Okay, so Gorak's got his guy. He knows who to go after first. But just knowing who to hit isn't a plan, right? He needs a sequence, a step-by-step strategy to take this enemy team apart, piece by piece, and turn this impossible fight into a bunch of smaller, winnable ones. This is that moment where all that thinking and analyzing turns into a real solid plan. When you're fighting solo, you have to think like a general commanding a whole army. You focus all of your power on one single critical point. And this is it. This is Gorek's hit list. And it's not random, it is a beautiful piece of strategy. Step 1. Take out the controller, Vorlog, the guy who can end the fight with one spell. Step 2. Get rid of the archer, the one controlling the space. And finally, step 3. Once all their advantages are gone, you deal with the last guy in a fair, one-on-one fight. So, the mental game, that's already won. Gorek knows exactly what he needs to do. Now, we head back to the arena, to the moment of truth, and we watch him put this cold, hard logic into brutal, beautiful practice. Okay, the horn sounds. Gorek's first move is everything, and, well, it's totally unexpected. He sees the Drow swordsman charging right for him, and he just runs straight past him. He totally ignores the guy right in his face and makes a beeline for the real problem. He closes the distance to the wizard, forcing this squishy backline caster to suddenly deal with a very angry, very large half-orc right in his personal space. And as he's charging, you gotta understand, he's not just running, he's playing chess. By getting right up in Vorlag's grill, his zone of control, he forces the wizard's hand. Vorlag can't just take a step back and cast a spell anymore. He is now stuck in a sword fight he does not want to be in. I mean, just look at how much he accomplishes with this one single move. He's on his priority target. His positioning is now making it tough for the swordsman to get to him. And yeah, sure, he takes an arrow from the archer, but that's a calculated risk. He's trading a few hit points to take the enemy's queen off the board. That is action economy warfare. And boom, this is where all that homework pays off. Gorek knew Vorlag was a glass cannon. All offense, no defense. The focused, relentless attack is just too much. Vorlag the Vile is down before he can cast a single fight-ending spell. And just like that, with one single beautiful move, the enemy's entire action economy is crippled. The number of attacks Gorek has to deal with each round just dropped from 3 down to 2. The math of this battle has completely changed in his favor. Okay, the wizard is down. The biggest threat is off the board. So now what? Well, the threat levels have all shifted. Gorek immediately adapts. He turns his attention to the next name on his list, the Drow archer, because now he's the most dangerous guy left. But he doesn't just charge blindly at the archer. No, he's still playing smart. He uses a pillar for cover, breaking the archer's line of sight. He takes away the ranged advantage and forces another close-up fight right where he wants it. He's still setting the terms of this battle. So once the archer goes down, that swordsman, the one who looks so tough at the beginning, suddenly he's all alone. And the battle has finally become what Gorek wanted it to be from the very first step he took. And now, it's just a straight-up one-on-one duel. And in a fair fight, against a single opponent with a predictable way of fighting, a warrior like Gorek was never going to lose. The outcome is a sure thing. Gorek stands victorious. So let's be super clear about what just happened. Gorek didn't just hulk out and beat 3 guys at once. No, he systematically took apart their team by attacking their action economy. He turned an impossible 3-on-1 into a series of winnable one-on-ones. He won because he understood the math behind the magic. See, he didn't look across the arena and just see 3 bad guys. He saw their jobs, their weaknesses, their roles. He saw a controller, a ranged threat, and a melee threat. He figured out their unique dangers. He built a plan around that knowledge, and then he executed that plan perfectly. And that, my friends, is the heart of action economy warfare.